Marcus Webb wiped the grease from his hands and stared at the sleek transport ship that had just landed in his garage bay. It was expensive, the kind that government officials used. He had been fixing alien technology for 15 years on this dusty frontier station, but clients like this were rare. A tall figure stepped out, wrapped in flowing silver robes. The alien's skin shimmered like oil on water, constantly changing colors. Marcus recognized the species immediately. HFY Empire. They ruled over 40 star systems and were known for their wealth and power. Marcus Webb? The alien's voice came through a translator device. I am Ambassador Thelexor. I represent King Xiphoron himself. Marcus raised an eyebrow. A galactic king sending someone to his small repair shop? Something felt off, but he stayed quiet and listened. The king has heard of your skills, Thelexor continued, pulling out a data pad that glowed with golden light. They say you can fix anything. Ships that other mechanics declare dead, you bring back to life. Technology that should be impossible for humans to understand, you master. I do my best, Marcus said carefully. Pride swelled in his chest, but years of dealing with aliens had taught him to be cautious. The king has a vessel. A very unique vessel. It requires someone with your particular talents. Thelexor tapped the data pad and a contract appeared in the air between them, written in dozens of alien languages. The payment is 50 million galactic credits. Enough to retire anywhere in the galaxy. Marcus's breath caught. 50 million? That was more money than he would make in 3 lifetimes. He could finally leave the station, maybe buy a place on Earth, see the oceans he had only heard about in stories. What's the catch? Marcus asked. There was always a catch. You must work alone. The vessel is on the king's private moon. It is classified technology. You will have 90 days to complete the repairs. All tools and materials will be provided. Marcus scrolled through the contract, but it was written in complex legal language that hurt his head to read. Technical specifications were listed, but they used words he had never seen before. The contract kept calling it a unique propulsion vessel and a biotech transport system. Can I bring an assistant? Marcus asked. No. This is highly sensitive. You alone. Something in Marcus's gut told him to refuse. But 50 million credits. He thought about his tiny apartment, his aging equipment, the way other mechanics laughed at the human trying to compete with species that had been traveling space for thousands of years. This could prove them all wrong. I accept, Marcus said, pressing his thumb to the data pad. The contract glowed and disappeared. 3 days later, Marcus found himself on a transport heading to a small moon orbiting a dead planet. The moon had no name, just a number. The facility was buried underground, all white walls and sealed doors. Ambassador Thelexor led him through empty corridors that echoed with their footsteps. Your work area, Thelexor said, opening a massive blast door. Marcus stepped inside expecting to see a ship. Instead, he saw a huge containment cell made of transparent energy fields. Inside was something alive. Something massive. It was a wolf, but wrong. Too large, the size of a small shuttle. Its fur was pure white, almost glowing. But covering its body were metal implants, wires running under its skin and glowing wounds that leaked strange fluid. The creature's eyes were closed, its breathing shallow and painful. What is this? Marcus turned to Thelexor, anger rising in his voice. This isn't a ship. The contract says vessel, Thelexor replied smoothly. This is Fenris 7, the king's most valuable biological vessel. You will repair it. I'm a mechanic, not a veterinarian. You signed the contract, Marcus Webb? Thelexor walked toward the door. 90 days. Food will be delivered. The facility AI will assist you. Wait. Marcus ran after him, but the blast door sealed shut with a heavy thud. He pounded on it, but it would not open. The facility AI spoke from hidden speakers, its voice cold and mechanical. Contract fulfilled. Subject and mechanic now bonded. Quarantine protocol activated. Duration, 90 days. Warning. Subject is infected with Class 5 nanoplague. Failure will result in termination of both subject and contractor. Marcus turned slowly to look at the dying wolf through the energy field. The creature's eye opened slightly, watching him with pain and something that looked like intelligence. He had been tricked and now he was trapped. Marcus spent the first 3 hours studying the wolf from outside the energy field. The facility AI provided him with files, and what he read made his blood run cold. Fenris 7 was not just an animal. It was a weapon. The HFY Empire had taken a wolf-like creature from a peaceful planet and turned it into something terrible. They added cybernetics, battle armor under its skin, and enhanced its strength to crush starship hulls. King Xiphoron had used Fenris to conquer 6 worlds. The wolf was unstoppable. Until the nanoplague. The king had wanted more control over his weapon. He ordered scientists to inject special nanites into Fenris, tiny robots that would force the wolf to obey. But something went wrong. The nanites turned hostile, eating away at Fenris from the inside. The infection spread through the cybernetics, creating wounds that would not heal. Worse, if Fenris died, the plague could mutate and escape. It could spread to organic life across the galaxy. That was why Marcus was here. The king could not risk bringing Fenris near populated worlds, and alien mechanics had already given up. They declared the wolf beyond saving. So the king had tricked a human. Humans had a reputation in the galaxy for being stubborn, for refusing to accept that something could not be fixed. Marcus pressed his hand against the energy field. "You really think I can save you?" he whispered. Fenris's eyes opened. They were bright blue, unusual for a wolf, and filled with pain. The creature growled, a sound that shook the entire room. Marcus took a deep breath. He had fixed broken ships before. This was just another repair job. He had to think of it that way or he would panic. The AI lowered the energy field enough for Marcus to enter with his tools. Fenris immediately lunged at him, teeth snapping. Marcus dove backward and the field snapped back into place. His heart hammered in his chest. "Okay," Marcus said, breathing hard. "You're scared. I understand." He tried again the next day, this time with a sedative the AI provided. But Fenris fought it off, too strong for normal drugs. Every time Marcus got close, the wolf attacked. Not because it was evil, Marcus realized, but because it was suffering. Every movement caused pain. On the 3rd day, Marcus had an idea. He studied the cybernetic implants covering Fenris's body. They were advanced but poorly designed. The connections between metal and flesh were rough, causing constant irritation. Some implants were pushing against nerves. No wonder the wolf was always in agony. Marcus accessed the cybernetic controls through the facility computer. He found the pain inhibitors, systems meant to block pain signals. They had been set wrong, making everything worse instead of better. "I am going to try something," Marcus told Fenris. "This might help." He adjusted the settings. Fenris's entire body went rigid, then slowly relaxed. The wolf's breathing became deeper, steadier. For the first time in months, maybe years, Fenris was not in constant pain. The wolf's eyes opened and focused on Marcus with new awareness. "Better?" Marcus asked. Fenris did not attack. Instead, the wolf watched as Marcus slowly approached with his tools. When Marcus reached out carefully and removed one of the infected implants near Fenris's shoulder, the wolf growled but did not move. "Good," Marcus said softly. "We are making progress." Over the next week, Marcus worked slowly. He talked while he worked, explaining everything he was doing. Remove infected parts. Clean wounds. Replace bad cybernetics with better connections. He pulled up old Earth databases about veterinary medicine, things most aliens never thought to study. Aliens treated Fenris like a machine. Marcus treated him like a living creature who deserved care. Each day, Fenris became less hostile. The wolf began to watch Marcus with intelligent eyes, following his movements around the room. Once, when Marcus dropped a tool, Fenris pushed it back toward him with his nose. Marcus smiled. "You understand, don't you? You know I am trying to help." 2 weeks into the work, Marcus was cleaning a deep wound on Fenris's side. He had to lean close, his hands covered in blood and synthetic fluid. Suddenly he felt dizzy. The infection fumes, he realized too late. He stumbled and fell. The room spun. Marcus tried to reach his medical kit, but his arms would not work. His vision blurred. The last thing he saw was Fenris standing over him, jaws open wide, teeth inches from his throat. Then everything went dark. Marcus woke up with a pounding headache. He expected to be dead, torn apart by Fenris. Instead, he found himself lying on the floor with a blanket draped over him. His medical kit was open beside him, and bandages had been wrapped clumsily around a cut on his arm. He sat up slowly and saw Fenris lying 10 feet away, watching him with those intelligent blue eyes. "You saved me," Marcus whispered in disbelief. Fenris made a soft sound, almost like a whine. The wolf had dragged the medical supplies to him. It kept him warm. Marcus felt tears sting his eyes. This creature that had been turned into a weapon, that had every reason to hate all living things, had chosen mercy. "Thank you," Marcus said. "I will not give up on you. I promise." From that moment, everything changed. Fenris allowed Marcus to work without resistance. The wolf would lie still for hours while Marcus removed infected implants and repaired damaged cybernetics. Sometimes Fenris would hand Marcus tools with his mouth, understanding what was needed. Marcus worked day and night, barely sleeping. He studied the nanoplague under microscopes, analyzing its structure. What he discovered changed everything. The nanites were not just infection. They were a failed control system. King Xiphoron had tried to force them into Fenris's body to make the wolf obedient. But Fenris's biology had fought back. The nanites and the natural immune system were at war, tearing Fenris apart from the inside. Other mechanics had tried to remove all the nanites. That was impossible. They were in every cell now. But Marcus had a different idea. What if the nanites did not need to be removed? What if they needed to work together with Fenris's body instead of fighting it? Marcus pulled information from multiple Earth databases. Immunology, cybernetics, symbiotic relationships in nature. Most alien species specialized in one field. Humans learned everything, mixing ideas that others kept separate. He created a patch, a biological computer program that would teach the nanites to cooperate with Fenris's immune system. It was risky. If Marcus was wrong, it could kill Fenris within hours. This might hurt, Marcus warned, loading the patch into an injector. But I believe it will work. Fenris lowered his head, pressing it against Marcus's chest. Trust. Marcus injected the patch near Fenris's heart. For a moment, nothing happened. Then Fenris collapsed, convulsing. Marcus dropped to his knees beside the wolf, monitoring vital signs on his data pad. The numbers went crazy, spiking up and down. Come on, Marcus begged. Fight. You are stronger than this. He stayed beside Fenris all night, one hand on the wolf's head. He thought about his daughter, Sarah, who had died from a space plague 5 years ago. Marcus had been away on a repair job when it happened. He never got to say goodbye. Could not save her. But maybe he could save Fenris. As dawn light filtered through the facility, Fenris's eyes opened. The wolf stood up slowly, steadily. The infected wounds were closing. The glow from the nanites changed from angry red to calm blue. Fenris's fur looked healthier, brighter. It worked, Marcus laughed, relief flooding through him. It actually worked. Fenris moved closer and pressed his head against Marcus again. Through the cybernetic implants, Marcus heard something. Memories. Images of Fenris as a young wolf, running through forests with a pack. A family. Freedom. Before the Carewell came and took everything. I am sorry, Marcus said quietly. I am so sorry for what they did to you. Suddenly the facility AI spoke. Project status, success. Bioweapon restoration complete. Extraction team arriving in 24 hours. Prepare subject for transfer to King Xiphoron. Marcus's blood turned to ice. He had been so focused on saving Fenris that he had forgotten the truth. The king would take Fenris back. Use him to destroy more worlds. And Marcus, who knew too much, would never leave this moon alive. Through the cybernetic connection, Marcus felt Fenris's response. The wolf understood. A single word formed in Marcus's mind, coming from Fenris himself. No. Marcus stared at the ceiling cameras, knowing the king's people were watching. 24 hours until they came. He paced the room while Fenris watched him with concern. We cannot stay here, Marcus said. They will take you back. Make you hurt people again. And they will kill me for knowing their secrets. Fenris stood and walked to Marcus. The wolf's cybernetic implants suddenly glowed brighter. Through the connection they now shared, Marcus felt something incredible happening. Fenris was learning to use the technology inside him in new ways. The healing had done more than cure the infection. It had awakened something deeper. A voice came through the cybernetics, rough and broken but clear. Not weapon. Not anymore. Marcus stumbled backward in shock. You can talk. Learn, Anji, Fenris replied, the words coming easier. Free. Oh. Marcus nodded slowly. Then we escaped together. They spent hours studying the facility systems. Marcus hacked into the security network while Fenris used his enhanced senses to map the corridors through walls. Together they found something the KRLL had missed. An old emergency shuttle in a forgotten hangar, built by humans decades ago when this moon was a research station. If we can reach it, we can escape, Marcus said. But there are automated defenses. Drones. Locked doors. Fenris growled. Strong? You. Smart. Marcus smiled despite the fear in his chest. Human and wolf against a galactic king. Terrible odds. Good odds, Fenris replied, and Marcus realized the wolf was making a joke. They moved at midnight when fewer systems were active. Marcus overrode the first door while Fenris ripped apart 2 security drones that came to investigate. The wolf was faster now, healthier, his movements precise and deadly when needed. Alarms began screaming. Red lights flashed through the corridors. "They know!" Marcus shouted, running toward the hangar. "Move faster." Fenris grabbed Marcus by his jacket with gentle jaws and placed him on his back. The wolf ran at incredible speed, smashing through a security door like it was paper. Marcus clung to the white fur, his heart pounding. They reached the hangar just as more drones appeared. Marcus dove for the shuttle controls while Fenris fought, destroying machines with claws and teeth. The shuttle powered up with a whine, old but functional. "Fenris, come on!" Marcus yelled. The wolf leaped into the shuttle and Marcus slammed the door shut. He grabbed the controls and launched them toward space. The moon's surface fell away below them. For a moment Marcus thought they had made it. Then the shuttle stopped. An invisible force held them in place. A tractor beam. "No!" Marcus whispered, trying to break free. The engine screamed but could not move. A hologram appeared inside the shuttle. King Xiphoron himself, a massive KRWL with golden skin and cold eyes. His voice filled the small space. "Did you really think you could escape, human?" "Let us go," Marcus demanded. "You got what you wanted. Fenris is healed." "I wanted more than that," the king said, his colors shifting with anger. "I wanted to understand how humans fix broken things. Your kind has a gift. You see hope where others see garbage. I was going to study your methods, use them to control my entire empire. Make my subjects loyal through healing instead of fear." "People are not machines," Marcus said. "You cannot fix them by breaking them first." The king laughed. "How noble. And how foolish. I will take Fenris back. I will dissect you to learn your secrets. This ends now." Fenris moved forward, standing between Marcus and the hologram. The wolf's body began to glow. Marcus felt it through their connection. Fenris was activating something deep in his cybernetics. A final weapon the KRYL had installed. A self-destruct function powerful enough to destroy the entire moon base. "Release us," Fenris said clearly, his voice stronger now. "Or I detonate. Your base, your research, gone." The king's colors went pale. "You are bluffing. You will die too." "Worth it," Fenris replied. "For freedom." Marcus held his breath. The shuttle hung in space, caught between the tractor beam and certain death. The king stared at them, calculating, realizing he had underestimated both the human and the wolf. The silence stretched for long seconds. King Xiphoron stared at Fenris, watching the glow intensify around the wolf's body. The self-destruct was real. Marcus could see it in the king's changing colors, the way his confidence flickered. "You would throw away your life for this human?" the king asked. "He gave me life," Fenris answered. "Real life. Not weapon life." Marcus stepped forward, an idea forming. "Let us go and I will destroy all the data. Everything about how I healed Fenris. You will have nothing to study or copy." The king's eyes narrowed. "And if I refuse?" "Then you lose everything anyway," Marcus said. "Your choice." For a moment Marcus thought the king would refuse. Then the hologram flickered. "You have made a powerful enemy today, human. I will not forget this." The tractor beam released. The shuttle shot forward into open space. Marcus piloted them away as fast as the old engines would allow, expecting weapons fire. But none came. The king had chosen to let them go rather than lose his base. They jumped to hyperspace, leaving the dead moon behind. Fenris collapsed, the glow fading from his body. "Did it?" the wolf whispered. "You saved us both," Marcus said, his hands shaking on the controls. "Rest now. We are safe." They flew to the edge of known space, to a hidden human colony called New Haven. The settlers there asked no questions, used to people running from trouble. Marcus and Fenris landed, truly free for the first time. News of their escape spread fast across the galaxy. The story became legend. A human mechanic and a bioweapon had defied the Galactic King himself. On worlds under KRYL control, people whispered the tale. If a human and a wolf could stand up to power, maybe they could too. Small rebellions started. Workers refusing unfair conditions. Scientists questioning unethical experiments. The king's empire did not fall, but cracks appeared in its foundation. Fenris recovered over the following weeks. His body grew stronger, adapting fully to the healed nanites. The wolf learned to speak more clearly, his intelligence expanding beyond what the KRWL had intended. He was not just a weapon anymore. He was a person. Marcus used the last of his savings to buy an old warehouse on New Haven. Together they converted it into something unique. A repair facility but different from any other. They took in the broken things nobody else wanted. Ships declared beyond saving. AI systems damaged and discarded. Even biological creatures that had been experimented on and abandoned. Word spread about the human and wolf who refused to give up on anything or anyone. Their first unusual patient was a damaged AI from a cargo ship. Most mechanics would have wiped its memory and started fresh. Marcus spent weeks recovering its personality, its memories. When the AI spoke again, it cried digital tears of gratitude. The second was a bioengineered creature like Fenris, left to die by its creators. Fenris worked beside Marcus, using his own experience to comfort the frightened being. They saved it. One evening, Marcus and Fenris stood outside their facility, watching ships come and go from the colony. "Do you think the king will come after us?" Marcus asked. "Eventually," Fenris said, his speech now smooth and natural. "But let him come. We are not alone anymore." Marcus looked at the warehouse behind them. Inside were a dozen patients, beings that others had thrown away. Each one was healing, finding purpose again. "Every broken thing deserves a second chance," Marcus said. Fenris sat beside him, his white fur bright in the starlight. "Even us." A new ship entered the atmosphere, damaged and limping. Its distress signal blinked weakly. Marcus grabbed his tools while Fenris moved toward the landing pad. They had work to do. Somewhere in the galaxy, King Xiphron was planning revenge. Other dangers would come. But Marcus and Fenris had learned something the king never understood. Compassion was not weakness. Stubbornness could change the world. And the bond between different beings, built on trust and second chances, was stronger than any weapon. The human and the wolf walked forward together, ready to fix what others called impossible. Ready to prove that even in a vast, cold galaxy hope could still survive.